Do you remember the smell of burning methanol and the deafening roar of blown V8 engines echoing through the Pontiac Silverdome? Welcome back to Ultimate Machinery. Today, we are pushing the absolute limits of heavy metal to uncover the 10 weirdest, most mathematically impossible monster trucks ever fabricated. We are talking about custom-built chassis, bone-shattering nitrogen shocks and engines that completely defy the laws of physics, from an insanely expensive luxury limo to a transforming robot that literally destroyed itself on live television. Which of these mechanical beasts will earn your respect? Let us fire up the engines. Let us kick things off with a wholesome slice of childhood nostalgia, completely twisted into a pure mudslinging nightmare. Owned and driven by Jeff Brock since 2014, the mighty Monster Bus takes the iconic yellow steel shell of a 1970 school bus and then drops it right onto a reinforced heavy-duty racing frame. Watching this long, familiar yellow profile barrel down the dirt track is completely jarring. It instantly grabs your attention. This machine mixes wholesome family memories with the violent, aggressive reality of arena destruction. Underneath that elongated steel body lies a heavily modified powertrain that pushes the boundaries of extreme engineering. Running a massive engine setup, it generates enough low-end torque to launch the 15,000-pound bus off dirt ramps. It sits on towering 66-inch Goodyear Terra tires. The machine relies on custom valve shocks to absorb the massive impact of landing such a long and awkward wheelbase. At top speeds approaching 65 miles per hour on the straightaways, the sheer momentum is absolutely terrifying to witness live. Piloting a school bus on a lifted frame means the driver is constantly fighting a terrifying rollover risk in every single corner. It requires masterful throttle control just to keep the roof out of the dirt. The top-heavy design makes every jump an incredible gamble against gravity, but if you think a lifted school bus is an intimidating sight, wait until you see a massive 10-wheeled semi-truck. This machine was built purely to impress the crowds in Europe. Taking the blue-collar spirit of long-haul commercial trucking and injecting it with pure adrenaline, we have the Road Boss. Originating out of France, this massive exhibition machine takes the heavy cab of a classic white Road Boss 2 semi-truck and forcibly mates it to a massive 10-wheeled monster chassis. It completely strips away the practical freight hauling purpose of a commercial semi, replacing it with unadulterated car-crushing presence. Seeing a familiar highway titan and lifted high into the air creates an unforgettable visual impact. Mechanically, balancing this heavy-nosed beast is a total engineering nightmare that requires absolute precision. To keep the heavy semi-cab from nosediving into the dirt, builders had to install an extremely stiff custom-tuned suspension system. Weighing in at over 20,000 pounds, it uses brute force torque and its massive 10-wheel configuration to slowly but aggressively conquer the crushing cars. The roaring diesel engine easily pushes out over 1,000 horsepower. This power ensures it has enough grunt to overcome its massive curb weight. This build honors the classic trucker, bringing commercial highway aesthetics to the extreme monster truck world. However, the massive hood creates horrific blind spots. It forces the driver to carefully guess their distances when approaching a crushed car ramp. It is heavy, it is bruising, and it completely relies on raw momentum rather than high-flying agility. Speaking of massive heavy iron machines, our next custom build takes its brutal inspiration straight from the classic hard-hitting railroad tracks, colliding mightily to dominate the dusty stadium floor. Bringing the unstoppable grinding power of the train yard to the stadium, the locomotive monster truck is an absolute masterpiece of thematic fabrication. Driven in leagues like Monster Truck Wars, builders expertly crafted a heavy iron aesthetic. They mimicked a classic railroad train, complete with a cowcatcher, and dropped it over a rugged tubular racing chassis. When this towering machine charges across the arena floor, the crowd can physically feel the heavy vibration. It perfectly replicates the unstoppable momentum of a runaway freight train at full throttle. To support this bulky, aerodynamically disastrous body, the team utilizes massive heavy-duty nitrogen-charged bypass shocks and specialized sway bars. A massive fuel-injected engine screams under the hood. It turns those giant 66-inch tires with aggressive, violent torque. Weighing roughly 12,000 pounds, the engineering required to balance a train-shaped shell while maintaining enough structural integrity. To survive massive 15-foot jumps is nothing short of a modern mechanical miracle. The massive elongated cow catcher on the front makes navigating tight stadium corners a total nightmare for the driver. Every jump is a blind leap of faith. It requires immense courage, flawless timing, and perfect track memorization. It is a stunning tribute to the American Industrial Revolution, transformed into a high-flying entertainer for the modern era. While that locomotive brings the heavy metal nostalgia, our next incredible machine brings a level of extreme, stretched out luxury. It will cost you 7 figures just to park in your garage. Prepare yourself for the ultimate expression of extreme wealth and absolute mechanical madness. Created by Brad and Jen Campbell, the Sin City Hustler is a luxury Ford Excursion limousine stretched into a colossal gravity-defying off-road beast, measuring a mind-bending 32 feet in length and standing over 12 feet tall. This massive machine completely rewrites the rulebook. It features a fully custom-built, elongated tube frame chassis. It is specifically designed to dominate the rough desert sands, in pure, unadulterated, high-end luxury style. Inside this rolling fortress, up to 12 passengers are treated to a premium, high-adrenaline VIP experience. Weighing an astonishing 15,000 pounds, it is powered by a massive 700-horsepower Ford V8 engine. To maneuver a 32-foot land yacht, the team had to install a highly complex 4-wheel steering system. You absolutely need all 4 of those massive tires turning independently just to navigate this incredibly heavy beast around a basic corner. Fabricating a machine this incredibly long requires thousands of hours of skilled labor, reinforced axles, and a massive financial budget. In fact, it was officially inducted into the Guinness Book of World Records as the longest monster truck in history. So, what does the world's longest, most luxurious off-road monster truck actually cost? A cool $1 million easily. Luxury is great, but what happens when you cross an elegant American muscle car with a highly dangerous, extremely shortened professional stadium racing chassis? Forget the massive trucks for a second, because Rat Attack proves that classic sports cars can be absolute monsters on the dirt. Owned and driven by Jacob Ladwig, this custom build utilizes the stunning, aggressive fiberglass body of a 1963 Chevrolet Corvette Stingray. Seeing a sleek classic muscle car hovering over massive 66-inch tires is a jarring and beautiful engineering contradiction. Driven with absolute fury, it injects the elegant spirit of the Corvette with raw, heavy metal adrenaline. What makes Rat Attack truly unique and highly controversial in the pits is its incredibly short wheelbase. The chassis was specifically cut down to be much shorter than your standard 10,000-pound monster truck. Why? Because it allows the vehicle to perform spectacular, gravity-defying slap wheelies with a simple stab of the throttle. The massive engine provides violent, immediate power. It lifts the sleek Corvette nose directly into the sky, sending the stadium crowd into an absolute frenzy. But I have to ask you, is shortening the wheelbase for a cool trick really worth the extreme mechanical risk? The severe lack of stability means the driver is constantly fighting a brutal rollover risk upon landing. Let us know in the comments. Would you sacrifice personal safety just to hit the perfect wheelie at 40 miles per hour? That Corvette has serious style and attitude, but wait until you see the absolute commanding dominance of our next arena champion. Sometimes, you do not need a crazy animal theme or a sleek sports car to win over the hardcore fans. You just need pure, creative nostalgia. Enter Blockhead, the brilliantly commanding machine from DCT Power Sports, owned by Jerry Beck. Its design is heavily inspired by classic building block toys. It features a massive boxy shell, complete with custom PVC end caps designed to mimic the studs on a giant plastic Lego brick. Blockhead is a massive fan favorite. Underneath that rock-solid toy-inspired fiberglass shell is one of the most reliable, finely tuned racing chassis in the modern sport. Weighing exactly 12,000 pounds, Blockhead is engineered for absolute stability and maximum tire traction. The custom suspension is dialed in so perfectly that the driver can hit corners at blistering speeds without losing control. Powered by a screaming 1,500 horsepower racing engine, this truck out-accelerates lighter competitors. The sheer reliability of Blockhead makes it an absolute nightmare for its competitors all season long. It rarely breaks down, it lands its massive jumps cleanly, and it consistently dominates the track at speeds exceeding 70 miles per hour. It represents the perfect, flawless balance of childhood toy design and modern mechanical tuning. But as dominant as Blockhead is on the track, it looks absolutely tiny. Compared to the colossal scale of our next legendary machine, we cannot discuss crazy custom builds without bowing to the undisputed king of sheer scale, Bigfoot 5. Built in 1986 by the godfather of the sport, Bob Chandler. This machine was created for one single arrogant purpose: to be the biggest, tallest, and heaviest monster truck on planet Earth. Weighing in at a bone-crushing 28,000 pounds, it is a rolling monument to extreme engineering. It officially holds the Guinness World Record for the tallest and heaviest monster truck ever constructed. The terrifying secret to its massive scale lies in its mind-blowing tires. Bigfoot 5 sits on authentic 10-foot-tall Firestone Tundra tires, originally utilized by the United States Army on their massive Alaskan land trains. Just one of these tires is taller than the ceiling in your living room. To turn these colossal wheels, they installed 5-ton military planetary axles. It is paired with a massive 460 cubic inch Ford V8 engine, producing unbelievable amounts of low-end pulling torque. Operating Bigfoot 5 is a massive financial and logistical nightmare. It requires absolute dedication. Transporting it up requires highly specialized wide-load trailers, and replacing just one of those 10-foot tires costs an absolute fortune. Top speed is barely 10 miles per hour, and it is so heavy that jumping it would instantly shatter the chassis. Bigfoot 5 set the absolute gold standard for massive scale. But our next machine is a viral internet rebel, one that threw every traditional engineering rule straight into the trash. Welcome to the chaotic, unregulated era of extreme modern internet builds. Monster Max 2, created by the highly controversial YouTube star Whistlin' Diesel, is a giant middle finger to traditional mechanical engineering. Based on a heavily modified Chevrolet Silverado heavy-duty pickup, it completely ignores all standard stadium guidelines. It was built purely for absolute viral destruction. It is unpolished. Its sound is obnoxiously loud. The most insane, logic-defying feature of Monster Max 2 is its highly unusual tire and engine setup. Instead of 4 tires, this monster runs on a crazy dual-wheel setup on all 4 corners, resulting in 8 massive agricultural tires. This incredibly wide stance makes it a nightmare to steer smoothly. And for power, it utilizes twin LBZ Duramax diesel engines. This machine produces thick clouds of black smoke. while literally tearing the earth to shreds with unbelievable raw torque at 40 miles per hour. This machine acts as the ultimate villain of the heavy machinery world. It completely ignores standard safety regulations, breaks heavy-duty axles just for fun. It exists purely to survive the craziest stunts imaginable, like literally floating and driving on the open ocean waters. Monster Max 2 is the exact definition of modern internet madness, but our next incredible machine comes straight from the cold ocean depths to capture the hearts of fans. From the freezing waters of Maine straight to the dusty stadium floors, we have an absolute fan favorite. Enter Crush Station, universally known as the Monster Lobster, owned by Bottom Feeder Motorsports and driven by Greg Winchenbach. This machine is a masterpiece of thematic fiberglass fabrication. The entire body is custom molded to look exactly like a giant, angry, bright red lobster, complete with giant bulging eyes and massive claws. The mechanical engineering behind this crustacean is incredibly impressive and highly functional. The massive front claws are physically attached to the custom PEI chassis, adding a ton of heavy weight to the front end. To balance this massive lobster shell, mechanics installed a state-of-the-art shock system, along with a roaring big block engine pushing out over 1,500 horsepower, weighing 12,000 pounds. Watching a giant red lobster launch 15 feet into the air over crushed cars is an unbelievable sight. Crush Station is the ultimate hero of family stadium entertainment across the country. Greg Winchenbach leans into the theme perfectly. He delivers wild, aggressive performances at 60 miles per hour that the crowd absolutely loves. It proves that extreme machines can be incredibly hilarious and fiercely competitive all at the same time. The giant lobster is a massive success. But are you ready to witness the absolute most expensive, embarrassing mechanical disaster in monster truck history? We have saved the absolute weirdest, most disastrous mechanical failure for last. Behold Scorgetter, a wildly ambitious machine that promised to revolutionize the industry, but failed completely. Built by William Townes in the late 90s, this was supposed to be a massive transforming robot truck. The concept was pure sci-fi madness, a heavy machine that could drive out, deploy massive hydraulic pincers to physically lift a junk car into the air, and then destroy it right in front of the crowd. However, the mechanical reality of Scorgetter was a terrible and absolutely terrifying engineering nightmare. The custom hydraulics required to lift heavy cars were wildly unstable under pressure. The massive weight of the mechanical arms threw off the entire center of gravity. This made the heavy truck nearly impossible to steer safely. Weighing well over 15,000 pounds, it barely had enough low-end torque to move its massive, overly complicated steel frame around the dirt track. It was a complete disaster waiting to happen. The absolute climax of this disaster happened at a 1998 show in West Palm Beach. While attempting its signature car lifting stunt in front of thousands of fans, Scorgetter had an absolute disaster of a performance. It got stuck, crashed into the car it was supposed to destroy, and then humiliatingly dropped the car. It essentially broke itself right onto the stadium floor. It was an embarrassing, highly expensive failure that ended its career instantly. These monstrous trucks can crush cars and defy the laws of physics, but do you know which agricultural tractors hold the record for the most insane pulling torque in history? The true heavyweights of the dirt might completely surprise you. Click the video on your screen right now to explore the most powerful tractors ever built. If you love heavy machinery, extreme custom builds, and roaring big blocks, make sure to hit that subscribe button for ultimate machinery. See you in the next video.